saying he's the nominee. Shut up. He's the guy. And I don't think that you're peeling away one bit from your 100% expectation that he's not.
You can't understate the significance of James Carville in their world. All right, he is a lion. Yep. He is one of the stars of the Democrat Party, and I'm with him. I mean, he said, look, the family's going to get it. He's going to get it. They're going to become convinced. We're going to have to look. It boils down to a simple premise, and you and I joke about Earth logic all the time. But they do have to have some degree of logical thinking here. And here's the logic they're going to have to use. Yeah. Do they think Biden will beat Trump? And it's real simple. They can read polls like all of us can. Yeah. I mean, Trump is surging with black voters, with Latino voters, with young voters. He looks like he's taking almost all the swing states. He only needs a few of them. They can read a poll. They've got internal polling that's even worse than what we're seeing publicly. So if all of them, Biden included, become convinced that Biden cannot beat Donald Trump, he's going to have to step down. There's just no way around it. Winning, as you often say, is everything to them, Mark. Right. If winning is everything to them,
it's everything to us too. I mean,
Well, of course, but they gotta stop Trump, and the way they position it. Democracy is at stake. Never mind, we're a constitutional republic, but nonetheless, it's all at stake. The whole universe is at stake. So let me turn it around on you. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I mean this as a rhetorical exercise. Mm-hmm. If winning is everything to them, mm-hmm. and we know it is, mm-hmm. how can they afford to stay with Biden?
That's the logic being used by the growing number of Democrats who are peeling away. The huge conflict in the minds and hearts of some, maybe AOC, maybe others, who look at this and they don't see what you see. Some epiphany coming in the short term where Joe and Jill and Hunter and the family and the inner circle all look at this and say, Dad or honey or whatever, Mr. President, you can't do this. You're going to lose. For the betterment of the country, for the good of the party, for the good of America, as we see it as Democrats, you have got to step aside. You see that moment happening. I think there are a lot of Democrats who don't. I don't know that I do. And because look at him, look at this. And I ask you again, it's ping pong. Right back to you, Mike Gallagher. What will that day look like? Are they hosing us and gaslighting us even as we speak right now? The polls are out now. You can see it now. So what magically happens in late July, early August before the riot-torn Chicago convention? What will that day look like where all of a sudden they come to us and go, you're right, we changed our mind? What?
Well, I mean, they're not going to say that. He's going to say, I've made a very difficult decision. Mm-hmm. My family and I have made a very heartbreaking decision for mm-hmm. us. I felt we could do it. I have been convinced that I have to hand the torch to somebody younger. I've got to hand the torch to somebody like Kamala or whoever it's going to be. Mm-hmm. I've never thought that was that difficult for him. You seem to think that's awfully hard for him. I don't think that's that hard. I don't know why.
Two things. Of course, I think it's hard. He is a man of enormous ego, and all politicians are. Listen, as Trump supporters, we can't attack anybody for having a big ego. Part of the job is, hey, dig me, as George Carlin once said. So, but every day adds to the imagery and the appearance and the optics of someone who has no intention of stepping down, no self-awareness, no tone-appropriate ability to read the room. And again, I'm not disagreeing with you for 100 times. I'm not telling you you're wrong. Not at all. It's just I remain Mr. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine what it must be like to be a loyal, regular CNN viewer and watch Jake Tapper torch Joe Biden? I've got a 2.5-minute piece that I'm going to play on the show today of Jake Tapper, not only playing the clips of incoherence from Joe Biden, but that he reads the transcripts. He reads it back, and when you read it back, it's even worse than when you heard it the first time. Yep. And Tapper's looking into the camera, cocking his head, like, we can't go with this guy. Now, if you're a loyal, remember something. CNN has turned on him for a reason. They want him. They want Democrats to win.
Of course.
They're not being objective. Don't fool yourself into thinking for 1 minute that CNN has suddenly got a burst of objectivity or being journalists. They're not journalists. They're advocates. They're activists for the Democrat Party. But the reason they're turning on him is because they are convinced, like I am, that and you and most of the country, he can't win. Yeah. And so we got to figure out how to get him out of there. Olivia Nuzzi wrote over at New York Magazine, this is to me one of the great scandals, and this is worth sinking our teeth into. An article at New York Magazine called "The Conspiracy of Silence to Protect Joe Biden." Yeah. Hugh Hewitt tweeted out about this morning on X. As it becomes revealed that this inner circle knew that maybe he has Parkinson's, and that's the big day, that's the big topic today. A Parkinson's doctor 8 times in 8 months or something like that, according to the White House visitor log. But the scandal is going to be how they lied to us about the condition he's in. Yeah. Now, we could see with our own eyes and hear with our own ears, but let's face it, we don't have one-on-one interactions with him. Many do. And they know how bad a shape this guy's in. He's shot. He's gone.
You know who has frequent conversations with him, who will have many, many questions to answer? The high priestess of the cover-up, Kamala Harris. If indeed there's no way around her and she will be handed the baton when your prediction comes true, if it does, she will have 1,000 questions to answer. What did you know? When did you know it? Why did you mislead the American public?
Wait, time out. They're not going to ask her that. They're going to make her, like we said yesterday, to be the Joan of Arc of politics.
I'm speaking sort of theatrically.
They're going to give her cover.
They'll ask that. Fox News. You and I will ask that question.
Yeah, but
Fox will have conservative. Right. No one will actually speak those words to her because she won't allow it. You're 100% correct.
It won't touch her. They won't touch her. They're going to anoint her, and they're going to make her out to be the most popular politician in the history of the planet. And of course, then it'll be up to the American people to decide whether they're going to buy that or not.
Fresh poll. Have you seen the very first? I think it's the very first Kamala versus Trump poll. Nationally, she's up on him by like 1. So I said, look for this.
Which poll? Who was that?
I don't know. I'll look for it. It was for reals. And I believe it. Listen, she's the new shiny object. A bunch of Democrats going, wait a minute, we have somebody who might not be a corpse. I'm in. So their enthusiasm will be reflected. When the baton is handed to her, she will either catch or lead Trump in the polls for maybe a couple of weeks, maybe longer. She will be harder to beat than any of us think.
She'll be harder to beat, but let's not forget, what did she get when she ran? Was it 2%, 3%? She's not exactly a popular person.
No, but she will be now by using the logic you and I have said. She will be the single repository of every instinct, every drop of blood, every drop of Democrat enthusiasm. There will be one human being on the planet that can beat Donald Trump, and she will be that human being, and she will then be Joan of Arc, on top of sainthood, on top of every woman you've ever admired.
But I believe that the narrative that they're going to try to shove down our throats is going to reek of desperation. I think the American people are going to see it. I mean, when you consider, everybody knows who she is. Everybody knows what she's about. And so when they're trying to lift her up and say, look how wonderful Kamala Harris is. Look, she's got a big problem with black voters. And black voters are well aware of how she incarcerated numerous black people.
No one will care.
As the district attorney.
No, you're totally right, but that is it's ancient history.
Black voters care. Black Americans care.
You're right.
Black Americans know about it.
You are right. There are those who do, but when it'll be universally forgiven when she's the only person who can beat Trump. All of that will be just window dressing.
I think that's why I think so many black Americans are turning to Donald Trump. They know about his criminal justice reform efforts. They recognize what he accomplished on that. Remember when he sat in the Oval Office with Kim Kardashian and Kanye West?
Absolutely.
Black Americans, particularly younger black Americans, are going to remember that. Look, I don't care. The country's on fire. I got bigger fish to fry. I got a red light camera violation.
You buried the lead.
I am a wreck because first of all, I got very righteously indignant and I said, I didn't do it. Now, let me tell you
But
how creepy.
They have
you want to know how creepy?
It's a camera. There's photographic evidence that you did it.
Photographic? You hold my beer.
Right.
Here's what they did. First of all, there's pictures of it.
Yeah.
And you can see my car in the intersection. I thought, well, that doesn't look too good.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got into the link where I wanted to pay it's $168.
And what municipality did this to you?
Clearwater, Florida.
Okay, very good.
I was on my way to Skyline Chili, and you don't get in the way of me and a Skyline
No,
Chili,
you
right?
do not.
Run a little bit late. So the pictures showed they looked pretty bad because I first thought, no, how dare they? How dare an inanimate object give me a ticket?
I know.
That's ridiculous.
There's a possible constitutional issue to that. And are you identified as driving the car? Can you see you?
No kidding. Well, they tell me in the notice, if you say you're not the driver, then you can submit an affidavit and you can appeal this, yada, yada, yada.
Okay.
But here's what got funny technically, so I'm looking at the pictures. Yeah. I'm thinking, it doesn't look too good.
It's totally you. It is, of course.
Oh, totally me?
Yeah, okay.
I go to the link to pay the fine.
Yeah.
Mark, they got a video clip. And that video clip, I look like I would have me executed if I were in judgment of that car whipping through that intersection. It was as red as can be. And I go flying through the intersection. First of all, it's dangerous as can be. I mean, it's stupid of me. How idiotic. And I'm looking at that video thinking, can I pay double the fine? Can I send you more money?
And to listeners of the Mike Gallagher Show, if you text scofflaw to 1-800, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm a scofflaw, right?
No,
and I am
so sorry.
And
be good, good for you. Good for your atonement. But
what are your thoughts on the constitutional premise of this?
I don't like. There's the thing about facing your accuser.
But they got me dead to rights.
I know it's.
There's no gray area. I mean, it is as clear as the nose on my face. I did it, and they proved it, and they showed me, and I'm not kidding you. When I first got when I opened up the envelope, I thought, I'm not sure I did this. Did I really run a red light? Come on. Mm-hmm. And then by 5 minutes later, I'm like on the floor sobbing, thinking I have just committed. I mean, if I'm watching this video.
Yep.
I want this guy in jail.
If it's somebody else, you're playing it on the show, saying this is a death
penalty. And it's me. So I don't know. Maybe this is the future, Mark.
If you bring this up in any hour of your show, Biden could resign and it wouldn't cut through the calls you'll get, because this is such a rich and wonderful talk show topic. Like all things of technology, like we have license plate readers now, which is great. They can find your abducted child, find a stolen car.
Well, that's how they got me.
It's the greatest. It's not visuals of you just whipping through the intersection.
But they got me on the license. They had to read the license plate.
That's how they know who you are, correct.
So Michael Gallagher. I mean, they found me through the license plate.
It's great in a way, and yet when technology is doing what human eyes usually do in law enforcement, it creates privacy issues, constitutional issues. I think those are rich debates to be hashed out. And so if you get tired of the Biden campaign death watch, bring that up and you'll be fine for an hour.
Well, I better not. I think we got a lot to cover here on a busy Tuesday. I still think there's going to be some big bombshells this week. Everybody's still talking about it on social media. This is going to be a big week, and this is, of course, our last week in Florida before we head off to Milwaukee. I'll be broadcasting from the convention beginning Monday morning, and they've already tried to book me for different hits. I said, no. You can't get in the way of 735 with Mark Davis.
Different hits doing what? I mean, who's trying to get
doing for other shows? For a bunch of other shows.
Oh, gotcha.
They wanted me to do a bunch of shows, and they had me booked at 735.
I don't think so.
Nope, doesn't happen. I've got that time carved out. So starting Monday from the FiServ Center. What the heck is FiServ?
I don't know. And listen, as a conservative, I'm fine with business and I'm fine with naming rights and stuff like that. But when they change them every 3 years, you don't know.
I mean, I can take American Airlines Arena. You can take AT&T Stadium.
Sure, yeah.
My beloved South Carolina used to be the Bilo Center, which is this big, beautiful arena, right? Yep. Then they sold the naming rights. Yeah. Guess what it is now?
I have no idea.
The Bon Secours Wellness Arena.
Well, Bon Secours is French for good health.
Yeah, well,
I thought it was going to be like
French for stupid.
I thought it was going to be the Hooters Dome or something like that.
Twin Peaks. By the way, quick text message. It's a third-party company sending you the letter about the red light camera.
Yeah.
The texter from Dallas is right. It is a third-party company.
Yep.
And they say to me, this is interesting.
Do they
quick
get a
note,
cut?
and then we'll move on.
Yep.
They say, we will not be notifying your insurance company of any of this. See, it doesn't go against you like a regular red light violation does. Did you know that?
No, well, not really. Because I
Yeah,
don't,
if a
because I
cop
don't run
gives it
red
to-
lights.
Yeah, well, no kidding. I won't anymore.
Well,
But if a cop gave it
all
to you, it'd go to the it'd get
Sure
points
would.
on your
Sure
record.
would.
Not with the
Gotta
red
go.
light cameras. So there's a silver lining.
We're ready, Mike.
All
We're
right,
ready, man.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy
All
Tuesday.
right.
It's
Love
happier
you.
every day.